No Theater is presenting Martin Sherman's play Bent through February 22nd in the theater on...
It's on Carroll Street, 74 Carroll.
Carroll Street in Binghamton. Friday and Saturday night performances are at 8 p.m. and Sundays are at 3. And I'm pleased to welcome the director, who has nicely chimed in with the address, Tim Mollen, and also one of the actors, Marty Murray. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Why did you decide to direct this play?
Well, it's been a long-held goal of mine since seeing the play and back in 1990. I was lucky enough to spend a semester overseas through SUNY Oswego and saw a revival of the play with the original star Ian McKellen. And it deeply affected me, and I've remembered it ever since, that it really had an impact on my thinking about gay rights and about human rights. And when I came back to Binghamton about 5 years ago, started shopping it around, and No Theater has been a great home for it, very accepting and supportive of it. They're doing nice, edgy stuff over there.
Now, you said a revival of the play. When did it first appear?
Debuted in 1979 in the West End of London, starring Ian McKellen. And then later the same year, it premiered on Broadway, starring Richard Gere.
And can you tell us a little bit about Martin Sherman as a playwright?
Sure. He was born in Philadelphia. He's an openly gay Jewish man, and he has lived for many, many years in London. Bent is far and away his biggest success. To be honest, I'm not familiar with his other works. And he also wrote the screenplay for Bent when it was a movie in 1997.
And do you know what sort of research he had to do to write this play?
Well, in the 70s, research was just starting to come out. There was some academic research on persecution of gays by the Nazis, but nothing out in the mass media before about 1972, when a German writer named Heinz Heiger wrote down a first-person account from a survivor who wanted to remain anonymous. And actually, the play has opened a lot of doors and gotten a lot more research into the public eye. There weren't a whole lot of gay survivors of the camps that, A, survived, and B, were willing to talk about it. So it was difficult to get information, but scholars luckily started doing that in the 70s. And
how difficult was it to stage this?
It was a challenge. It's a tricky play, and it's definitely a challenge for actors. So No Theater generally does smaller shows with, say, 3 to 5 actors. This is 10 people playing various roles. It's a period piece, so you have to have accurate costumes for the military and for the prison uniforms. And it has a lot of different locations. In Act 1, we jump from one place to another. So we've approached it in a pretty minimalist fashion, just 1 or 2 pieces on the set that represent each location.
And Marty, you look different.
Thank you.
You've had to do some work to get ready for this role.
Yes.
First, can you tell us about the character you play?
I'm Horst. I meet the main character, Max, played by Sean Kimber, 2 scenes before the end of the act. When the audience meets me, I'm already in a concentration camp, and I've been there for a while. And I kind of let Max know how things work, and I kind of help him survive his first day there. And to change for this, I lost 30 pounds and gained a few in muscle for the role. And I shaved all my hair off. And for people that know me, I guess that's a big thing.
Do you have to reshave it every weekend?
Probably not this weekend. I'll probably do it next weekend.
We're going to hold him down and shear him.
Yeah.
What have the challenges been for you in doing this role?
Doing it realistically was my biggest concern. There are a few scenes that I felt, personally, that could be made fun of, possibly, by the audience if they weren't done correctly and in a real fashion. So I really worked hard to try to make those as realistic and powerful as possible.
Talk about some of the other actors in the play.
Sure. Our lead, Sean Kimber, has done a phenomenal job throughout the rehearsals. He had to be on stage every minute, so he really didn't get a break. His character goes through an amazing journey through the play, so he runs the gamut of emotions. The secondary leads are Marty, mostly in the second act, and in the first act, a student from BCC who's really amazing named Ben Williamson. And he plays Max's lover in the first act. There's some theater veterans in our group. Mickey Ray plays Uncle Freddie, and Michael Shepard plays a Nazi captain. Joe Petrolovich as another Nazi officer. A young man who's an amazing violinist named Joshua Wallenstein is playing some of the music written by Santino D'Angelo. Tino's written a beautiful original score almost for us that you can hear at the show. Christopher Zlomek, another young man from BCC, doing a great job in several small roles. Who am I forgetting, Marty?
Michael Marini.
Michael Marini, in his very first play, is playing the drag queen Greta. Did I forget anybody?
Charlie O'Connor.
Charlie O'Connor is the capo, doing a nice job.
Okay. And you are selling out pretty well, I understand.
Yes, the first weekend we were very pleased. Broke some records for no theater in attendance. We've been heavily marketing the show, getting the word out to university students at BU and BCC who are taking history classes, gay and lesbian organizations. We even have a synagogue, Temple Concord. The rabbi there, Rabbi Barbara, I think it's Goldman Wartell. And I apologize if I'm getting your name wrong, Rabbi. She came to see the show in our opening weekend and sent out a lovely letter to her entire synagogue recommending that they come see the show, which is pretty amazing.
And so you would encourage reservations.
Yes,
and
definitely.
Let me give you the information for that. Once again, No Theater's presenting Martin Sherman's play Bent, and through February 22nd in the theater, which is on Carroll Street, and you know the address better than I do.
74 Carroll Street. It used to be the Central Fire Station.
And Friday and Saturday performances are at 8 p.m. Sundays are at 3 p.m. And for ticket information, you can go to notheater.org. That's KNOW Theater. Or you can call Brown Paper Tickets at 800-838-3006. Once again, that's 1-800-838-3006. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.